If you guys want to see how I went from this to this, just keep watching. Hi, my name is Kelsey Lamb, and this is Clemster's Life. So I already put lotion on my face, so now I'm gonna go ahead and spray it with this priming spray by Catrice. For foundation, I like to mix the winter and summer colors together. And my face gets oily, so I like to use a medium to full coverage that's for oily skin, so more of a matte finish. And the ones I'm using is the Fenty and also the MAC Studio Plus. Now moving on to the highlighting step, I'm going to use the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer. It was really hard finding a good shade for me. They didn't have a wide range of shades. And they also didn't have a lot of shades for darker skinned women. So I don't know if they added more shades since I bought it. So you can see, like, this is extremely pale. And I noticed that it looks a lot better with a sponge than a brush. When I use a brush, it just gets really cakey. So now that the base is almost done, I'm going to set the parts where I put concealer using the e.l.f. setting powder. And it's just like a translucent shade. For my preference, I like to apply the powder using a powder puff. So the three eyeshadow palettes I'm going to use for this eye look is the Colourpop QAF palette, the Too Faced Sweet Peach, and the Anastasia Modern Renaissance. So the colors I'm going to use are strictly going to be the orange shades. So in the Colourpop palette, it's going to be this color. And in the Modern Renaissance, this shade. For the Too Faced, I'm going to be using Summer Yum. So to start off, I'm going to use the Colourpop one. Using a fluffy brush, I'm going to take that orange shade just a little bit, and I'm going to apply it all over the crease and above that part of my eye. I'm going to take the Anastasia orange shade. I like to get a fluffier but more precise brush than the blending brush I used before. You can see that this is very fluffy and this is more dense and compact, but I like this brush because it still gives you a very good like blending control. So I'm going to take Real Gar and I'm going to apply it above the crease of my eye. And you can see how pigmented this shade is. But I really like the brush because it blends so easily. I'm going to take the Sweet Peach Summer Yum shade and I'm going to apply it using this brush. So this is like the typical eyeshadow brush that you think of. It's more densely compact than the last one. Just going to take a little bit of that and apply it to the corner of my eye. And after you initially like set that product, I like to very lightly just like press it on the inner parts. I'm going to apply a little bit more. So now to blend it all out, I'm going to use that first brush. You only want to blend out the edges, so don't go in and like mess up the rest of the shades. So sometimes if the shades don't look as intense, I just go in and do the exact same step, or I use the leftover on the brushes and just deepen up any parts that just look really bare to me. So for the bottom lash line, I'm going to take a very tiny brush and I'm going to take the lightest shade. So for the eyeliner portion, I'm going to use my Pro Longwear Fluidline by MAC, and it's in Black Track. And now I'm just going to take mascara and apply my fake eyelashes, and I'll be right back. So I'm going to take this brown color from the Colourpop palette and a tiny little brush. I'm just going to get a little bit, and I'm just going to put it right here. This kind of just smokes out the bottom line. So for the rest of the video, I'm going to do a voiceover, and moving on to the bronzing part of the face, I'm using one by Makeup Revolution, and I'm going to take a fluffy brush and warm up the outer parts of my face. So you really want to blend into your hairline so that way it doesn't have a streaky look. And you want to make sure you use a big fluffy brush because this will help your contour, which you'll see later. So I'm just going to apply the bronzer around my forehead, my cheekbones, and I'm going to drag it down by my jawline. Taking the same bronzer, I'm just going to get a dense brush and contour my nose. And I just lightly pat it on so I'm not ruining the base or like moving it around. Now taking the Shade and Light palette, I'm going to get the darkest shade and use this angled brush to really chisel out my cheekbones and my forehead. And you really want to take your time with this step because it can look very messy very fast. I like to take the rest of the product on the brush and really just blend it into my jawline because it gives it a little bit more precision. For blush, I'm going to take this Tarte color and I'm just going to put it above where I bronzed and contoured using a blush brush, and I really love this color because it gives it a very natural glow. Moving on to highlight, I'm going to take this one from Too Faced and it came in this Christmas limited edition set. I'm just going to apply it where I typically highlight using a fan brush. So I didn't get to record the step where I put my lip gloss on, but I will list what I use down below. And this is the final look. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye!